Amen. And then we begin to see God became conscious and says, you know what? I'm conscious that I am man. Guess what? I'm going to make man in my image. I'm making man after my likeness. Why? Because I like me. Then who am I? I am man, manifesting myself on earth. So what is man? You are a talking spirit. Because God is spirit. You are a talking spirit on the planet doing the bidding of the Lord. And then we have here in God, we, man, live and move and have our being. Acts chapter 17 and verse 28. Reverend Run, read on.
We are Jesus represent.
Good. We are Jesus represented. We take Jesus and presence him again. When you represent something, you re-presence it. When you are, see, if you represent me, let me go back to the order of poem, because there may be some people that might get confused. We have over the temple guards. Who's the senior over the temple guards? We have Prophet Kelly is the head of the temple guards. Then what does that mean? That means that I represent myself in him. He represents. Our children are supposed to represent us in their generation. I cannot be a teenager again, but my children are supposed to represent me in that generation again. Just like I couldn't get a show on MTV to preach. They don't have that kind of format. But God says, we can trust Rev Run. So what do? You represent me. You package the teaching in that particular circle. You represent. So now here's the wisdom. Here's the wisdom. Every one of you are either representing me or substituting me. Okay? Now if you want, we can do a roll call right here. Every individual here, under the sound of my voice, in this room, you are either representing me, which means represents me. If people look at you and say, man, you sound just like Bishop Jordan, you're representing. You have represented me to that particular audience or that arena that you're in. Or you are substituting and you're coming up with some otherness, or you're trying to show your own self, or be your own man. And we all know that's how Gore lost the election. He wanted to substitute the winner. It was clear. Clinton was the winner. He won 2 elections. He wanted to separate himself from the winner and substitute. Whereby Bush did try to, even though his father didn't have a great track record, he didn't separate himself. So the universe had to sit there and look and says, okay, which one is representing to look the closest like the winner? And the vote goes to George W. Bush. He looked just like his father. Same ideology, didn't talk about the faultiness in his administration. I'm going to do things different than my father. That is a telltale sign. When someone starts saying, I'm doing something different, or if it starts looking different, amen. You see, we allow stuff in church that corporate America would never allow. Let me tell you what I mean. If we were in the church and the ushers was all marching straight, but there was one usher that was just going to turn from side to side, the congregation, the people would say, you better go, girl, go ahead, do your thing. No, she's out of step. We encourage rebellion and substitution. If in Harlem, McDonald's says, our people like the fries a little bit more crispier. And then down up in Spanish Harlem, it says, we like all kind of spices, so we're going to put chili next to our McDonald's fries. The company would say that's not allowed, because if they come from Honolulu, they should not have a substitution and say it tastes different than what it tastes like in Harlem. Why? Because they represent. And that's why we've got to even come to the order of prophets, where we represent and not substitute. There's always people who feel that they can do better than what we do. But that's your own feeling. We hope you keep it to yourself. Because if you could do better, you would not be here. And you would not have been led here by God. And the moment you think you can do better, better ushers you out of these doors. That's what I love about God. Ushers you right out of your seat, ushers you away. So we tell people, when you come here to the forefront, amen, if you're in the seat, you need to be doing things just the same way. And when people say, you know what, we didn't even miss Bishop today. He did everything just like he did it. A matter of fact, I couldn't even find you. See, that's representing. You represents the individual. Do you not know there's people that get paid a lot of money for representing someone? The people that are broke are those that are substituting. Prophetess Cynthia.
Yes, Your Grace. I was going to say that it's really all about the system, because you get something, you set up a protocol and an order here, and it's not hard for us if we just sit in the seat and follow the system. We don't have to think, we don't have to stress, because that's already been mapped out for us.
Right.
And that's where, if someone else could do it better, they would have their own show doing it.
Exactly.
So you've already manifested with the system that you use, and that's the whole point of having a mentor. That you just follow behind the pattern that the mentor has set, and that pattern is covering you.
Good.
You know, the funny thing about that is it makes life very easy. You see at McDonald's, they don't even have to use the money thing. You just push a picture of the fries. You ain't got to worry about it. Cheeseburger, cheeseburger. You got to even worry about it. And that's how it is here. You shorten the distance and show us how to do it, and then we don't have any problem with manifesting the same results.
Exactly. Everything's got to come down to a system, and that's where you got to run your business. And even to the point, and see, this is where you begin now to start to look at. If you are in management and used to systems, and you start running your house like a system, if you're in jobs that don't have you in responsible positions where you're in a system, you won't run your house without you would. And see, and when people get in trouble in my household, they get in trouble because they try to substitute my system. Don't substitute the system. The system is everyone's bed needs to be made up. Don't you be different and say my bed is going to be unmade. You got to create a system, because we tell people that in life it will backfire, because whatever you do consistently and regularly, you're going to take that into your field, and you cannot run a successful business without a system. What's the difference between the rich and the poor? The poor have no system, the rich do. Prophetess Cynthia.
Yes, and Your Grace, one thing that I found, when you have a system, it allows the problem areas to stand out before they become a major problem. You have a system in place. A good example would be your finances. If you have a regular system of doing certain things with your finances, if something doesn't go right, it stands out, and you're like, oh, I got to take care of this. But if your finances are all over the place, and you don't know what's next thing you know, something's late. You didn't even realize it was going to be late. In any kind of business, if you have a system, then if there's a problem, it makes that problem surface and stand outside the system so you can catch it. If you don't have a system, you might not catch that problem for a year or so down the line, and by then it may be too late to fix, or maybe too major to do anything about. So it helps to surface things that aren't supposed to be there, so you catch it right away, and then you can act on it right away.
Good. If you